Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
How are you, Ron?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Everything.
Are you having technical issues?
Yeah, technically. I mean, they just wanted to go. They didn't want you to come on when I wanted you to. But there you go. It's all right. It's all right. I'm not worried now. How was the bowls over the weekend? It was good to see you, and we didn't play you or anything, but we sort of saw you there.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it actually. We had a bit of fun. We didn't set any records, but no, it was good fun actually, and a well organised tournament. They've got a good club going down there at Raumati, and enjoyed playing on their new artificial. I think the new artificial was probably better than the old artificial, but no quibbles. No, enjoyable weekend.
Yeah, it was good to see an ex-top bowler there, and of course also one of the best rugby players that we've seen. He was there. He seemed to enjoy it too over the weekend.
Yeah, though I was lucky enough to play with Ross Thorne, who'd won a national title, and he's won about 7 or 8 Wellington titles, I think, over the years, and he was our skip, and Peter Ballinger, that name might mean a bit to rugby followers. He was around in the days of John Dugan, so he probably didn't play as many games for Wellington as he maybe should have, but I played Wellington Colts with Pete and played against him a lot of times when he was at Hutt Old Boys, and very good bowler. So we were a bit lucky. We didn't have a stacked team, but we had a very good team, even though we didn't get any prizes in the end.
Yeah, Grizz looked like he enjoyed himself too.
Yeah, Grizz was there. It was great to see him, actually. He made a big effort to get up there. Apparently he drove from wherever he lives in North Canterbury, drove up to Picton and had to hop on the ferry and get across, and then get a cab from Wellington up to Raumati. So I mean, he made a real effort to get there, and they made the top section, so they must have played pretty damn well.
Yeah, I think they did, mate. Let's talk a little bit of rugby and what's been sort of. I see Sansar admits Super Rugby has lost its way and it may not be back. I don't know what that means.
No, I think probably in its current form. I don't quite know what's going on behind the scenes, to be perfectly honest. It's a bit hard to know, but I think most people agree that it got a bit unwieldy. I mean, when we had 18 teams, it was way too many. Even when we had 15 teams, it was way too many. I think in the ideal world, they'd look at a revamped Super Rugby. Whether it includes South Africa and Argentina remains to be seen, but I think we need a competition of probably 10 or maximum 12. We saw how good it was when we had the 5 New Zealand teams. Well, that's not sustainable, so let's see whether we could maybe add 3 Aussie teams, maybe a team from the Pacific Islands. So that's 9. You probably want an even number, so you're not endlessly having buys. I mean, they might go with 9, who knows? And so we just have to wait and see. It's all a little bit uncertain at the moment.
Yeah, I guess it is. You get the feeling that maybe because it's so close to the Northern Hemisphere that they might want to play up there anyway.
South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. Whether there's any room for them up there remains to be seen. I mean, they've already got their 6 nations, of course.
Yeah.
Whether they really want to include another team in that, or what sort of competition they can get involved in. I mean, we can still play the Rugby Championship. Whether we can sustain them in Super Rugby as well remains to be seen, because it's a long way to go. It's a hell of a long way to go, and players, All Black players who play them in Super Rugby, they have to go over there for a couple of weeks, come home, play a bit more, then when the Rugby Championship comes around, they have to turn around and go all the way back to South Africa. So, I mean, it's right around the world. And so it is tough. It's tough on the players. So, this is a real opportunity to have a good rethink about the way the whole thing's going.
Yeah, I'm amazed at what's coming out too over the last day or so, is that Gatland is looking to appoint Robertson in a Lions role. I can't see that really happening.
Yeah, well, what happened, I think, was that Robertson approached Gatland and said, would it be possible to be part of the team in South Africa next year? And I don't know whether he got a positive. I think probably the reply was along the lines of, "I'll take the idea back to the UK and we'll have a yarn about it, because I think Gatlin's probably gone back there now because rugby has resumed and he needs to have a look at all these players, because the Lions tour, of course, is next year. So he's probably back in the Northern Hemisphere now, and he'll be talking to a number of people as to whether it's viable. I see that Stuart Barnes thought it was a great idea. Sir Ian McGeechan thought it wasn't a great idea. So there's going to be a lot of opinions about whether it's a good idea or not. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
The other thing is that, of course, we've got a New Zealand player, well, a coach, that's played a hell of a lot of rugby in Europe, hasn't he? And so if you're going to take anybody, you think you take him.
Yeah, well, that's right, exactly. I mean, mind you, most of the New Zealand coaches have had experience in Europe, haven't they, these days? Because there's only so many jobs available here at home, and so, you know, often the cream of the crop heads away because they can't get a Super Rugby job or whatever it is. So it's a pretty tough gig coaching these days, and, you know, they're always judged on results, and if the results aren't going terribly well, that can be the end very quickly. So it's a pretty precarious sort of a game to get into.
Yeah, I'll just remind you too, in the golf, which you didn't get the chance to watch, that it went to an extra hole, and it was won by a Spaniard who deserved to win. Actually, he came from nowhere to win it.
Oh, John Rahm.
John Rahm, yeah.
He's a good player. He hasn't won a major golf tournament yet, and so but he's got an opportunity. I'm not sure what the next one up is. Is it the US Open or the Masters? I'm not sure. No,
it's the actual end of the competition before you go into those. So it's down to the last 30 players now, and that's
you're talking about that's not for majors though, is it? That's for some other damn thing they play for. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, heaps of dough.
Good to see all these things coming back. I see where the US Open tennis starts in the next day or two.
Yeah,
Tour de France started yesterday.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're slowly grinding our way back into it, even though it's difficult because, you know, spectators can't go along and all that sort of thing. At least they're making an effort to get these sporting events underway.
Yeah, you did, right. And it's a hell of a good thing. All right, mate, as always, thanks for talking to us tonight. You got a bit of work to do at the home at the moment too, haven't you? You got a lot.
Yeah. Bit of rap and a few jobs to be done around the place for them.
Okay, mate. Yeah, we'll catch up, all right? Nice to talk to you.
Cheers.
That is Grant Nisbett.
106.3 Beach FM.